Hi guys, today we're going to see about Airflow. Airflow is a Apache based pipelining tool for Python data collection. In this video we'll see the 5 steps to create a data pipeline. The 5-step process are importing the models, default arguments, instantiating the DAG, task setup, setting up the dependencies. In the first step we need to import the modules. We're going to use the datetime modules to import the current date of the system, and as usual we need to import the Airflow module and its dependencies. We are going to use DAG, so we are importing DAG along with it, and I'm going to run my script in bash, so I'm going to import my bash operator. The second step is passing the default arguments. The default argument is passed so that DAG can create a structure for it to be working in a consecutive manner and letting it know when it should pass and when it should fail. In the second line, the owner is given as Airflow. The start date of the program is given as 2 days ago. I've commented the end date such that it doesn't end on any particular time. And the next step is, does it depend upon the past? I've given it as false. And I've instantiated the email as airflow@example.com. You can substitute it for your own email address. And email on failure basically means that it will send you an email whenever this task fails, or whenever the email on retry means it will send you an email saying it is going to retry it. So the next parameter is retries. The number of retries you want can be instantiated in that. Retry delay means the delay you need to give in between each task retries. The third step is instantiating the DAG. We need to create a DAG object with certain parameters. The first parameter is the name of the DAG. We're going to name it as tutorial, and the second argument is the arguments which we created in the second step. We're going to pass that, and we're going to give a description on what the task is. Then we're going to say the interval between each schedule. So this is a table where we have given all the schedule interval parameters you can pass. You can pass with con or a preset name as at daily, at hourly, at monthly, or you could give the con values of 00 star star star. Anything can be done. The fourth step is creating a task. We need to create an object with the bash operator that we imported, and we're going to assign each task. We'll see later in the coding example. And then we need to create a template command and give instantiate. We're going to instantiate 3 tasks in this module. The step 5 is setting up dependencies. So setting up dependencies means a little different than what you might assume. In this scenario, we need to create a structure on which task should run after which, and it make it asynchronous or not, or should it run simultaneously or not. All these structure will be set up in the last step of the module. So in this scenario, if you see the first example, it says T1 set downstream to T2. That basically means after T1 gets over, the T2 will run. Similarly, you can create a reverse structure saying T3 set upstream T1. This means the T3 will depend upon T1. T1 and T3 are nothing but tasks. So we can also use the bitwise bit shift operator to say the same. T1 greater than T2 means T1 runs first and T2 runs second. So in some scenario we need to run 2 tasks at the same time. In those cases you can just close it into an array bracket and send it as a parameter. As the last line you can see T2, T3 less than T1. That basically means after T1 these things should be done. Let's see a recap on what the video was about today. Basically, a DAG is just a Python file which is used to organize tasks and set up their execution context. DAG does not perform any actual computation. Instead, tasks are elements of Airflow that actually do the work we want to perform. And it is your job to write the configuration and optimize the task in specific order to create a complete data pipeline. Now let's see a code demo on what we learned today. First, we need to import the modules. Then we need to create the default arguments. We're going to pass all the arguments we learned today. And then we need to instantiate DAG and then pass in the arguments. And then now we're going to create a bash task operator. And then we're going to pass in the parameters needed to it. We're going to create 3 task operators. Task.document.md is nothing but a documentation of the task. You don't need to worry about that. And then we're going to create a template which renders the output for us. We need to create the execution order of each task. This would be the Airflow GUI which will run on your local host. As you can see in the graph view, you can see each task in a graphical manner. The color represents the status of each task. The tree view is self-explanatory. It shows the tree view of each task running. The left hand side you can see the tree of each task and their steps which they take to achieve their complete status. On the right you can see the number of tasks which have ran. I gave 2 days ago, so that was two lines of tasks. If you can go and see the view logs, you'll see all the templated files. Now we can go to the next day's task and look at the rendered template. We'll see the date of yesterday's. Yes, it's completely working.